Today I'm going to tell you how to eat carbohydrates the right way so your blood sugar always stays normal. Why is it important to eat bread, rice, and potatoes correctly? And most importantly, how can you keep them in your diet while keeping your blood sugar in check? I'll explain all of this to you. I'm Dr. Getz, an endocrinologist. Let's get started. Let's talk about carbohydrates. Traditionally, every diabetic feels caught between a rock and a hard place because eating carbohydrates means raising your blood sugar, and high blood sugar leads to damage to blood vessels and nerve endings, constant pain in the legs, heart attacks, strokes, vision problems, and so on. But we also can't completely cut out carbohydrates because research shows that totally eliminating carbs increases the risk of heart attacks and strokes by 20 to 30% for everyone, not just diabetics. That's why diabetics need carbohydrates. You just need to eat them the right way so they don't raise your blood sugar. That's exactly what we're going to break down right now. This is probably the most dangerous carbohydrate for diabetics because it gets absorbed into the bloodstream very quickly. It's white rice. Essentially, it's almost the same as refined white flour. If you just take a bowl of white rice and eat it all at once, you'll get a sharp spike in blood sugar and damage to your blood vessels. But how can we slow down the absorption rate of carbohydrates? There are a few ways to do this. First, add fiber. Second, add protein. Third, don't overcook the rice until it turns into mush. The more you process a product, the faster it gets absorbed. No one eats rice raw, but you can avoid cooking it until it becomes puree. Cook it al dente, like pasta, so you have to chew it a bit. That already slows down the absorption rate. Second, add some source of protein. Don't eat a plain bowl of rice. Make it so that a quarter of your meal is rice and a quarter is fish or tuna. The third point is fiber. Vegetables are a great source of fiber. Add canned peas, beans, or chopped cucumbers to the rice, and you've already slowed down the absorption rate. And another life hack, to add flavor without calories, you can use a little bit of hot sauce like sriracha. It's tasty and the absorption rate stays low. Another life hack, choose brown, gray, or black rice instead of white rice. The brown color comes from the fiber that's in the outer layer. My personal favorite is black rice. It has 100 to 150 fewer calories than white rice and several times more fiber. With these simple tricks, fiber, protein, undercooked rice, or a different type of rice, you get the same amount of carbohydrates, but they're spread out over a longer period, digested slowly and absorbed gradually. The next product that raises blood sugar is white bread. I don't think that's news to anyone. White bread made from white flour starts breaking down and turning into sugar right in your mouth and is quickly absorbed into the bloodstream. If you just eat a loaf of bread by itself, you'll get a sharp spike in blood sugar and damage to your blood vessels. But the biggest problem is that people are used to eating everything with bread. This habit comes from the past, when food wasn't very high in calories and people needed to get energy from somewhere. Now, our problem isn't a lack of calories, but an excess of them. So eating everything with bread is a harmful habit. I've had patients whose consistently high blood sugar was single-handedly because they were habitually adding bread to every single meal. Until we got rid of this habit, their blood sugar didn't stabilize. There should only be one source of carbohydrates at a time. If you're eating pasta, it already has carbs. There's no need to add bread. If you're eating potatoes, they already have carbs, so bread isn't necessary. If you want to eat bread, let it be the only source of carbohydrates in that meal. A quarter of the plate should be bread, a quarter protein, and half vegetables. And the same principles apply as with vernice. Add protein and fiber. And the next food we're going to talk about is potatoes. Personally, I think potatoes are the best side dish you could possibly imagine. Potatoes themselves are low in calories, about 64 calories per 100 grams. That's 2 to 3 times less than buckwheat. Potatoes also have a high satiety index. You eat a bowl of potatoes and feel full much longer than after rice or pasta. Potatoes are inexpensive and easy to prepare, but this wonderful product can easily be ruined if you drown it in oil, cream, or cook it with bacon. Mashed potatoes with 20% cream and butter is no longer really potatoes. It's just fat with a little bit of potato floating in it. And simple baked or boiled potatoes are a great food for anyone, including people with diabetes. All these fears about starch are just myths. I don't understand why people with diabetes soak potatoes for weeks to get rid of the starch, but then calmly eat buckwheat, which has just as much starch. Starch is the same everywhere. Yes, it's true that potatoes have fewer B vitamins than buckwheat. But fewer doesn't mean zero. And since potatoes are low in calories and keep you full for a long time, you can eat more of them and make up for those vitamins with volume. That's why, personally, as an endocrinologist, I would keep potatoes in a diabetic's diet. The Harvard plate rule says that a quarter of your meal should be carbohydrates, and that carbohydrate can be potatoes. The main thing is not to drown them in oil and cream. I'm actually the biggest defender of potatoes on the internet. There are way more myths about potatoes than there is real evidence of their harm. Thank you for watching this video all the way to the end. Give this video a like and let me know in the comments how your blood sugar reacts personally. Stay healthy.